Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to Meditation Monday. It's a beautiful sunny day in Perth, and as we head into December, which is the end of this year, I thought it is a wonderful time to begin reflecting on what it is that we need to let go of this year, what it is that we need to put down and release. Morning, Sue, how are you? We're just reflecting on, seeing as though we're coming to the end of the year, on what would be great to meditate on today is what we need to release for this year, and kind of like connect with our guidance. Morning, Kylie. And connect with our guides and our power animals. Hi, Jazz. And connect with all that guides us in the spirit world today, and we are going to connect with them and see what it is that we can let go of this year, what they are encouraging us to let go of this year, and perhaps get an inkling of what is coming into our lives in the coming year. And I don't know if you found that, but it's been a really interesting month, or perhaps 2 months, with big endings and new beginnings and kind of new energies coming in and having to find the balance in our lives. And also heading into Christmas, I don't know if you've noticed the real frenetic energy going on. And I always notice that when I go into the shops, it's like, it's a crazy frenzy buying. I'm like, what's going on? So trying to stay grounded and centered in the silly season is a good thing. So anytime you can take just to come back to your center and to meditate and just reflect on where you're at and where you're going is always a brilliant thing. So if you've got a piece of paper with you at the moment, it would be great even just to kind of write down what it is that you think you'd like to let go of from this year, even if it's feelings of self-doubt or emotions, or morning Rose, hi Mel. So have a look at what it is that you'd like to let go of, and even if you just write down things you would like to bring in, like more stillness, more time for reflection, more going with the flow, staying in your center, or even physical or material things you would like to let go of or manifest. Just write it down and don't attach too much emotion to it. Just notice it, write it down and put it aside. And then let's go on a journey this morning. It's not going to be a long journey meditation, but we're kind of just going to go into stepping into the last month of this year and coming back to ourselves and connecting with our guidance and asking our guidance what it is that we need to let go of and what it is we need to bring in. So when you're ready, just get comfy, just focus on your breath, and just notice too, if you find you go really deeply in meditation, it's a good opportunity to even stand and do this. You'll actually find you'll get more in the meditation. The drumming can take you out of your body. And if you go quite deeply, you sometimes do kind of check out of your body. So I recommend that you stand and do the journey, or otherwise sit. If you are able to lie down and still get vivid journeys, then that's awesome. Do that, whatever suits you. But notice if you do go quite deeply, it is sometimes better to stand. So give your body and mind permission to relax. This is time for you for the next 15 or so minutes, and just focus on your breath. Just let go of the whole day, of all your expectations. Just bring your attention back to your body, and it's always good to place your attention in your heart space. And as you breathe in, just notice your heart, notice putting your energy into your heart space, and just give yourself permission to come back to the body and to sit in that heart space. And as you breathe in, just breathing peace into your heart. And just blow out any tension. Breathing peace into your heart space. And just blow out any tension. gently open your eyes and just focus on something in the room. And as you sit in that beautiful energy, just notice how your body feels now to how it felt before you began your journey. Notice how you are sitting in your center and where that center feels to you, and all the better energies that you do carry in your body at this time. Notice that. And so as we sit in that beautiful space, you may have written down, if you had the chance before we began to journey today, on what it is you would like to release from this year and what it is you would like to bring in this year. And I'm just going to go back through the journey and explain to you some of the symbolism of what that may mean for you. So as we sat in our bubble, what elements did your guide put into your bubble today? So we began with beautiful white light. How did that feel? Was there a different quality to that beautiful white light? And then your guardian angel placed another energy in your bubble. Was it fire? Was it air? Was it water? I got rainbows today, which was fun. It just means more color, more light. It's about bringing in all the different aspects of the rainbow. Every color carries a vibration. Red is more grounding, orange is more creative, yellow is about personal power, green is more heart space, green and pink, blue is more communication, indigo is about how we see, and violet is about how we receive our inspiration. Water is always about emotion. It's about cleansing emotions that may be stuck in our body, and we need emotions to flow, and we need to enact emotions. We need to step into doing something when we feel emotions. So water is very good. Ever notice how good you feel when you swim or go to the ocean? I find the ocean is very cleansing and clearing, and I always feel so much better when I go swim in the ocean, because the combination of the salt and the water definitely clears your energy. Oh, thanks, Mel. So notice that. So we stepped out into a place in nature that we love, and an animal came to fetch you today. What was that animal? Mine was mouse. That was really interesting, trying to move fast on a mouse, and he was gorgeous. So never discount what animal comes. Every animal has great power and amazing messages for you. And so our animal moved through the landscape, and do you know that beautiful landscape? How do you feel if you ever go sit in that landscape, or how did that landscape feel for you? Say, oh, owl is interesting, Nick, I have to send you some more. Stag is beautiful, Kathy. So owl is, just quickly, owl is about seeing the unseen, noticing. Owls are night creatures, so it's about going within and noticing energy. And I'll send you some more info. Stag is often, I always feel stag is the knight in shining armor. It's about rushing out perhaps to rescue others, or perhaps the need to rescue yourself, but it's that feeling of wanting to support and nourish others. Eagle is beautiful. Is about, eagle always reminds me of spirit and coming in and gaining a higher perspective. So stag is a beautiful romantic energy. It always reminds me of the knight in shining armor. Okay, so then we went through the tree. Where did you go? Did you go down in through the roots? Did you go through the middle? Or did you go up the tree? So down is into the lower world, is into all the energies that this earth carries. Middle is past, present, future. And up the tree is into higher realms, where all our guides, ancestors, light masters live. So we went through the tree and we came out into another landscape. What did your landscape look like? And you could hear the river. So our animal took us to the river, and we had a look at the river. We had a good view of the river. We had a look at where it came from, how it was flowing, and where it was going to. And so our animal took us to the river, and we started to walk down the river. What was your river like? Was it wide? Was it narrow? Was it deep? Was it muddy? Was it clear? Was it fast flowing or gentle? How was your river moving? Were there rocks in it? Could you see fish swimming in it? And so we walked down the river, and there was a bridge. Somehow you could cross the river. What was across the river? What did your bridge look like? And so our animal took us across the bridge. And when we came to the other side, there was a fire that was burning. And there was a beautiful being standing by the fire. And so we walked up to the fire, and you may have noticed that there was different colors that were, I noticed, different colors in the fire. And the being had a book standing there. And as we stood watching the fire, this being was tearing up pages and handing us a page, and there may have been a word written on the page or an image, or you may have seen that in the fire as well. And so if you notice, these are the things that we need to release from this year. So there may have been emotions written in a word. Some of mine were emotions, like anger and sadness. And sometimes we don't realize how we hold on to emotions about certain things that have happened, and how we really need to release them in order for new energies to come in order for us to step into new things. And sometimes it's just an emotion, say like anger or sadness, that can block you from being more open to receiving all the abundance that you need to receive. So it's a wonderful lesson, and it would be good, if you are writing this down, is to journal on it, and notice if there were about emotions, are those emotions connected to specific incidences for you, and how did it feel to burn them in the fire, and just to release them, to blow the energy into the page and to release them. And so how many pages did you get? How many things did you need to release from this year? And then when you were done, the beautiful being handed you a necklace. What did that necklace feel like? What was the energy? Was there a stone on it? Mine had a beautiful citron. Citron's also about cleansing. And it is kind of fun to go and look up the symbolism of the crystals, or just to feel into the energy. Sometimes the feeling is the greatest gift that you can get from crystals, because they actually do energetic work on your body whenever you hold them. And even when you imagine them, because when you imagine anything, you call it into your energy. You invite it into your energy to share energy with you. Whenever you think of someone, think of a person that you love. It's like you invite their energy in, and you can feel their presence. And that's about those living and non-living. When you think about them, you invite them into your energy, or they are perhaps in your energy. So we got a beautiful necklace. I got sidetracked from this amazing being. And then we returned back along the river. Did your river look the same? Had it changed? And then we crossed the bridge. Was the bridge the same? Or had it changed? And then we hopped on our animal, and we came back through the landscape and through the tree, back into our beautiful place in nature where we started. And back to our bodies. And we brought all the energy back to our bodies and shared the energy with us. And so when we came back, just to go through a little bit of meanings, I've given you some meanings in your journeys, and if you like, I will send you some more information. So if you have a look at it, we always start where we are now. So the animal that came to take you on your journey. So we always look at our intention. Whatever our intention is for a journey meditation is the energy that will come and inform us to give us more insight into our intention. So our intention is, what do we need to release, and what do we need to call in this year? So you're welcome, beautiful Rose. So when you look at that animal, and you'll kind of get a strong feeling, is that animal more about what you need to release or what you need to call in? So if you look at mine, it was a mouse, and it was really weird with this little mouse trying to run so fast through my landscape. And it was really funny. His tail was going in the back. It was really cute, and his ears were flopping. And mouse is about detail. And so my lesson is, and I know I struggle with detail. I'm dyslexic, and so I have great ideas, and I can really connect with my intuition really well, and sometimes I miss the detail. So my biggest lesson is to go back and go over and become a good editor and learn how to be patient with the detail. Wow, beautiful, Mel. Yeah, please feel free to share, and I'll give you a little bit more insight when I can. If I can't do it straight after the journey, please feel free to share, and I'll definitely give you some more insight. And even if you want to messenger me, you're very welcome to share your intention, even what you wanted to release and bring in, and share your journeys. And I'm really happy to be able to give you some more insight into that, and really journal about it as well. So your animal gives you more insight in the energy that you need to let go of what you need to let go of, and to call in what you need to call in. And so we went through the tree. If you went down into the tree, I would probably have a look at energies. It's all about energies and connection with earth, with nature, and perhaps calling in more energy. If you went through the middle of the tree, you're traveling past, present, future. So it's all about everything that's going on now in your life and everything that's happened. If you went up the tree, it's all about bringing in higher guidance and a higher perspective of whatever's going on in your life. It's like perhaps you need to shift ways of seeing things. And also, like the lower, going down through the cave is also about perhaps grounding energies more, about being more grounded in the way you walk in the world. Okay, so the landscape on the other side will also give you a feeling on what you need to let go of and what you need to call in. Was it very lush? Was it dry and open and expansive? And so when you look at landscape, the symbolism of how, oh nice, Nick, awesome, fun. So have a look at the landscape. And I noticed like just little things were different from when I went in to when I came out. So I'll kind of go through my journey and perhaps you'll get some more insight about yours. So mine was kind of open meadows and a hill, and then I could see my river very clearly, and it was almost like as when I got to my river, it was more clear. So your river gives you a bit of a fun indication on what your year has been like. So when you look at where your river came from, it's kind of like what's happened this year. So if you look at it like a really wide river, is about there's a lot going on in your life. There's a lot happening. If you look at the flow of your river, if your river is moving quite fast, then it means that you've built quite a momentum. What you're doing has built a flow, if that makes sense. And it's kind of like once you've started a hurricane, it's very hard to stop it. You've got to just be in the center, go with the flow, and allow the flow to take you. So if your river is moving more gently, in the fact that you could even like stand in it and walk in it, you would just feel its current, but it wouldn't affect you. When the river is moving kind of slower like that, it means that it's more, you are directing the flow of your life right now. It's like the current is not that strong, and you have more choice in how you want to move and how you want to kind of flow with life. And so it's also about, perhaps sometimes it is about picking a direction and getting clear with your intention about where we want to go. Okay, we'll talk about waterfalls now as well. Rocks in the river are sometimes, I see rocks as mental blocks, and sometimes we have kind of big belief systems that if you look at water, it's got to flow around a rock. It's almost, it's a resistance. If you look at electric current and you place a resistance, it creates heat. It's pretty similar with the flow of our lives. When we have thoughts and beliefs that resist how our life wants to flow, it creates heat, it creates resistance, it creates brick walls. So notice if there were many rocks in your river. Sometimes if there's just pebbles at the bottom, it's about perhaps you built more of a consciousness about the way you think as well. So notice that, it's quite fun too. So when we get to the bridge is about how we need, it's about crossing over, it's about kind of almost like how we need to step in to next year. So how sturdy was your bridge? What was it made of? Look at, like, wood is always about work, metal is more about thinking. Look at the colors of the bridge. Kind of notice the energy of that, and if you describe something, it sometimes gives you a very good clue on the symbol and the meaning of that symbol. So the bridge is about how we are kind of energetically crossing over into the energy of next year. Was it easy? If it was easy, that's great. Then it's like this, it's not that hard to shift and release everything that you need to do. And so we went to the other side, and the fire was pretty obvious. What was fun about the fire, I just got words on my paper, and when I put my papers into the fire, it became a color. So what it shows for me is like, let's say sadness, releasing any sadness I've had from this year that perhaps I haven't let go of. As I put it into the fire became yellow, which shows it's more, it will give me more personal power to be able to stand in my center and my strength when I let go of that emotion and not hold on to it any longer. So have a think about the words or images on your paper and how it transformed when you put it into the fire. Now, waterfalls, were they at the beginning of your river? So I forgot to come back to your waterfalls, so I'll quickly explain that while you're also thinking about your fire. Sorry, too much information at once. I will post it so you can come back and listen again. So when you looked at your river, when you looked at the right, that is where you've come from this year. That's what's happened this year. So where you looked at to your left, where it was going, that's what you're going to go into next year. And we will do other journeys as we reach the end of the year or beginning of next year, where I will journey into the coming year with you as well, so you can gain more of an insight into the energies that are coming next year as well. So waterfalls, if you look at it, water is about emotion. So waterfalls are about a period where it feels tumultuous. So it's always good to know and to notice how was that waterfall? I've had waterfalls that just disappear into air. So it shows how that emotion will dissipate. And it also shows that, you know, sometimes when you look at waterfalls, they're amazing. They create more energy, more air, more atmosphere. And so sometimes you need an emotional turmoil in your life to shift everything, to change everything, to transform the energy. And even though it feels hard when you're going through it, sometimes it's the best thing that ever happens, because it brings clarity to where you are, it brings intention, and it brings focus. And so it's not stagnant energy. Sometimes stagnant energy, like a river that is like completely like, let's say, just not moving, like a stagnant pond, it dies. They consider it dying water. So it just means that's like a restriction of flow. So waterfalls are great. It's almost like a blow up of energy. It brings new oxygen. You've got to breathe deeper when you're going through waterfall emotions, don't you? You've got to bring more life in. You've got to be really present with where you're at. You even think about that at the waterfall. If you've got to canoe through a waterfall, you've really got to be present. Otherwise, you're just going to get slapped upside the head or land up upside down. So it's like, notice when you're going through waterfalls in your life, it's about, you've got to be centered. You've got to ride the current. You've got to just literally come back to your body and be present with the energies. So notice if you have been through them already this year, if it was to the right of your river, notice how your river became afterwards. If it changed at all after. Sometimes it can alter the whole course of your river. Notice how, if it's still coming, notice that it will be there and you'll go, oh my God, this is my waterfall moment. But notice how your river became afterwards. Sometimes it turns into the most amazing thing. So never judge hard times as a bad thing. Hard times are sometimes exactly what you need in your life. So anyway, when you came back to your river after the fire, had it changed? Was it a little bit different? I noticed more like really lush green grass, which for me is more, it's all about growth. Green is always about growth and heart opening. So anything new in the river, more vegetation. If the river was wider or perhaps calmer after you had done your fire, putting all your emotions and things that needed to be released this year into the fire, notice that. And so we came back over the bridge. Was your bridge the same? So bridges are always how do we move, how do we get across things, any difficulties, any resistance, how do we move across it? The bridge also shows you how you move through your difficulties. When something difficult comes up in your life, how do you approach it? And mine was quite interesting. I had like a really white, vivid bridge, and it shows when I'm in a hard time or going through something difficult, sometimes I really withdraw. And I have to sit with my energy to really notice where am I and what is it I need to process. And so sometimes I'll journal about it or even go for a walk so that I can just be with myself and process what I'm going through to understand what I need to let go of, what I need to move into next, how I need to shift things. And so for me, it's about bringing more light into the situation. So we all process our emotions differently. So notice that about your energy. And your necklace that you were given. Notice, what is that gift that your guides and spirit bring to you right now? What is that gift of energy, and where did it sit on your body when you brought it back? So, yeah, was it heart space? Was it throat? Or did you want to put it into the lower chakras? And sometimes we do that just to add more energy to the chakra centers and bring more light and consciousness, because we carry our life experience in our chakras. The world comes to us and through our chakras, and we tend to hold belief systems or any stuck energy in chakras, and sometimes we need to bring more energy into them. So I know that was a long and complicated one, but it's so much fun if you sit and journal about it. I will post it if you need to do it again and listen from the beginning. If you want to journal about it, I really recommend that. You will gain so many insights about this year, what has come, perhaps things that you were still holding on to that really need to be let go of. So, interesting. You know what thymus is about, Mel. Nice. Thymus is about energy and transformation. So, yeah, and if you'd like some more insight into your journey, you can message me if you feel like it's too personal, or you can post it underneath the journey, your animal, and just what your intention was, what you needed to release, what you would like to bring in. And I will give you a little bit more information. And just to know, I'm actually running a retreat in Bali in next year, February. It's called The Healer's Journey. And before we do the retreat, you actually do a process with me where I take you through different specific journeys to increase your intuition, to help you understand who your guides are, your power animals, to understand how you feel, see, and know And I love to work one-on-one with you to help coach you around your energy and how you can expand it and how you can kind of use it as a tool in your everyday life and use it to understand your energy. So if you want some more information on that, please let me know. I have a couple of spaces left still, and it is going to be an amazing time. So big love and so many blessings to all of you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you again soon.